Genomics, Cathie Woods and ARKG. What's it all about? In this video, I will discuss why investing in a fund can be a much more sensible option than investing in a stock. And I will briefly explain what the genomics revolution is all about and why it's Cathie Wood's hot stock pick. This channel is dedicated to people wanting to bring financial diversity to their lives, bring in that second stream of income and have a viable future. So what is genomics? And what has it got to do with the stock market? What is all the fuss about? Now, I will always give the caveat that I am not a financial expert, but in this video, I also need to caveat that I am not a biologist, or even a scientist, or any otherist that understands the topic in depth. Frankly, from the research I have done, it is pretty mind-blowing stuff. In my videos, I do want to try and bring some background information on the stocks I am talking about, as I find this useful, and I hope you do too. Now, if you do like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see future videos like this. Also, leave me a comment to let me know what you think about the sector. Are you investing? And if so, which companies are you backing? So we have all heard of genetics, and genetics can be defined as the study of heredity, also called inheritance. And this is the passing on of traits from parent to offspring. Genomics is defined as the study of genes and their functions. The difference between genetics and genomics is that genetics scrutinises the functioning of a single gene, whereas genomics addresses all genes and their interrelationship in order to determine the impact on the growth and development of organisms. So why is genomics gaining more and more traction? Well, it's all to do with the curing of disease. There are many other uses for genomics, such as in the agricultural field, but I'm just going to focus on health in this video. For days gone by, it was widely accepted that if you had a disease, your life expectancy was likely going to be reduced, and modern medicine was there to try and expand your life slightly and improve your quality of life for the time you have left. But it generally didn't actually cure the disease. Modern genomics is trying to do just that, and there are two key factors at play here. Number one, the viability of sequencing a genome, the detection, and number two, the viability of altering or repairing a damaged genome, the correction. Crudely put, if you have hurt your leg, you go in for an X-ray to find out if it's broken. This is the detection. And if the X-ray shows a break, then a splint or cast is used to fix the break. This is the correction. The genomics companies are working towards being able to sequence a person's genome, find if any errors exist, and fix those errors. If successful, this technology may be able to cure certain cancers and fix pediatric blindness. In an early human trial, a man has already been successfully cured of leukemia after gene editing. But why are we talking about this now? What's changed? Well, if you step back to 2018, the number of whole genomes that were sequenced was 2.4 million. This was half of all the genomes ever sequenced before that. By 2025, this number is expected to be 100 million sequences, which is a 40x increase. A key reason that this number has increased is because the cost of sequencing the genome is decreasing, and decreasing rapidly. This graph shows the falling cost per sequence from 2001 to 2020, and you can see the Moore's law plot as the baseline. What we can see here is the cost has rapidly reduced, costing roughly $1,000 per sequence, compared to 10 times that only 10 years ago. The National Human Genome Research Institute has a look-ahead statement, where they currently state that the innovations in genome sequencing do not appear to be slowing. And as a result, one can readily expect continued reductions in the cost. This is huge. The cost of sequencing the genome is critical, as it can widely be available and very cost effective. And this is what we said earlier is the first stage of the genomics, the detection. You can't fix a problem if you don't know the problem exists in the first place. Now moving on to the second key factor, the correction. This is just as important. Who would want to know they have a problem with their genetic code if there isn't anything that can be done about it. Enter CRISPR gene editing. Now CRISPR stands for Clustered Regularly Interspaced Short Palindromic Repeats, and CRISPR, but more specifically CRISPR-Cas9, is a genome editing tool that is creating a buzz in the science world. It has the ability to edit part of the genome by either removing, adding or altering sections of the DNA sequence. Essentially, it's like a microscopic pair of scissors that can cut out a defective piece of DNA and, if necessary, replace that section with new DNA. It is currently the most accurate and most adaptable method to alter DNA. This was only discovered in 2012, so it's still in its infancy, but the scientific community is excited. And someone else who is excited is Cathie Wood, founder and CEO of ARK Invest. Cathie believes the genomics sector is the next Tesla, and we are currently breaking into the genomics age, where Tesla was a disruptor. The direction of the genomics is revolutionary. ARK Invest believes the genomics age could create trillions of dollars in equity market capitalization by 2024. And these advanced molecular diagnostic tests could command tens of billions in annual revenue. She is advising people to get on board this bandwagon now, as she sees this sector exploding. She stated in an interview in 2019 that Apple is a $1 trillion market capitalization company, yet the top 3 genomic companies only have a combined market cap of $5 billion. Apple is great, and it does improve people's lives. But genomics is going to give people a life, a longer, a better quality of life. This technology is in its early stages of human trials, and she thinks it will be too late to invest with the let's see what happens mentality. She believes that in the very near future, we will all have our own personal geneticist, just like we have a dentist or a personal trainer. She is in on genomics and in big. She has set up the ETF called ARKG, G for Genomics, which has investments in some of the biggest and most innovative companies in the sector. ARKG analyst Manisha Samy worked in Stanford University Biology Research Lab for 8 years and experimented with CRISPR and has seen firsthand the researchers' reactions to these new technologies and their excitement. I very nearly went down a rabbit hole researching this video, and I'm going to back out now and talk about ARKG ETF fund. But as I mentioned in my previous video, which was about Chamath Palihapitiya's top investment for 2021, link in the top right of this video, I want to be able to answer Chamath's 3 questions to determine the suitability of an investment, and this background is needed to be able to answer questions 1 and 2. So I hope you found it useful so far. So, why would I invest in ARKG ETF rather than individual stocks in the sector? Well, this sector is moving fast, and when we talk about genomics, we are talking about the sector as a whole. There is a lot of very exciting companies doing very exciting things, and I wouldn't personally want to put all my eggs in one basket, or even in a couple of baskets here, as there isn't a clear frontrunner in this race, in my opinion. If I give a comparison to my investment in Tesla, it was clear that Tesla was the only company of size that was taking sustainable development seriously. It was easy to place all my savings in the Tesla basket because Tesla had no competition. It was a one-horse race, and I was betting with exceedingly good odds that the horse was going to win. With genomics, this isn't the case, and my thinking is that investing in ARKG is a far safer, yet potentially still extraordinarily profitable investment. I have watched a few other YouTube videos on genomics, telling viewers on the top 5, top 2 or the top 10 stocks to invest in. But frankly, I really struggle to understand how the YouTubers could have done sufficient research into all these companies to make this statement. I mean, you just have to follow the stock market and follow these companies, and the top companies by market capitalization are jumping around each day. I generally do prefer to pick investing in individual stocks, as I'm in the stage of my life where I'm happy to take the additional risk. However, when it comes to genomics, I truly believe investment in the ARKG fund is the correct investment route here for me. I have talked about the ARKG ETF, and for those who don't know what an ETF is, It stands for an exchange traded fund, which put simply is a collection of stocks grouped together so an investor can invest in the group like a single stock. Now, ARKG is an active ETF, which means it is actively managed and it has a manager and a team making decisions, compared to an index ETF, which is just tracks a benchmark, like the S&P 500, for example. So going back to our three questions, is this company really addressing a fundamental human need? And could this be used by 1 billion people in 30 years' time? Well, we need to swap company for sector. So is this sector really addressing a fundamental human need? And could this sector be used by 1 billion people in 30 years' time? In my opinion, yes. 1 billion people in 30 years may sound ambitious, considering this is a breakthrough technology right now. But when you think that the internet, mobile phones and GPS didn't really exist 30 years ago, apart from in very niche circumstances such as the military, I think we could easily see this sector reach 1 billion people in 30 years' time. And the leadership? Well, we're looking at the sector as a whole. We will be investing in ARKG where you are investing in the top leaders of the genomics field. And the big question, when is the right time to buy? And as always, this is really up to you. Cue the generic YouTube caveat that I'm not the financial expert. I think there's risk here. But I think long term, the risk is medium to low, for a medium to high, and possibly seriously high, reward. I have taken the plunge and I'm invested in ARKG. My position is not large, but large enough that I am following it closely and will be topping up regularly as funds become available to me. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you found this useful, then please do like and subscribe, as it really helps the channel grow. Please also comment to let me know your views, if I've made any errors, or what you would like to see in future videos. Have a great day, and see you in the next one.